And welcome to Coast. I'm Cari Champion, David Lloyd with the day off. Meanwhile, the NBA rules the summer. I guess you guys know that already. So many moves to be made and so many what ifs. This is my favorite time of the year. I don't know if you agree, but I know you know this by now. Chris Paul has been traded to the Rockets with the Rockets' intent on going after Paul George now. There's so much more to get into, but here's a recap in case you didn't know. I was just saying that last night. He took the words right out of my mouth.
Every day,
I literally was just saying to Brian Windhorst, you're either in the weapons race or you're on the sidelines.
You say that as a course of business.
You're just how I deal.
Right before the show.
I'm just like, Meanwhile, our NBA insider, Brian Windhorst, with us. Thank you so much for joining us. You have been working. I'm not even going to complain about my shift because I've seen you from night to day, all day long, always bringing some new information. So I thought I'd start with this question because it's really interesting. You've covered the NBA for some time. Talk to me about this offseason. It's free agency officially July 1, but it is free agency. Have you ever experienced anything like this before?
No, pretty much what's happened is the NBA has decided that they're not even going to worry. Already done right now that we'll find out about tomorrow night at midnight, East Coast. Jeez. And, that's just the way the NBA is. Last year, Joakim Noah had his deal with the Knicks done several days before free agency started. Now, if you're not starting free agency, if you're not illegally starting a week early, you're behind everybody else. And if there are not teams willing to go for it this year, if there's only a couple of teams willing to go and risk 1 year on Paul George, then maybe who you're bidding against isn't that impressive. Yeah,
but that's what the NBA is right now. If you really want to win it all, right, because that's the whole point. You're not in it just to survive. You want a landing spot. We're referring to best for his career.
Sure.
Is that best money-wise, or is it just best for his career
best money,
if he wants to win a chip?
Best money-wise is going to be staying in Utah.
Okay.
But by doing that, you're probably locking yourself into a team that's never going to get over that hump. Right.
I feel like a lot of these decisions will determine who's serious about winning it all or just making their money. And if you can do both, that'd be great.
You can do both.
If you can do both, that would be great.
Sure. Chris Paul and James Harden, two immensely gifted playmakers. His life is never going to get easier than that in terms of getting easy buckets, especially Mike D'Antoni's offense.
Okay, time out. I want to take it. What is this, 20?
This is 20. This is 20,
yeah. Take a 20. Can you help me? Knowing that he's made it clear that he would like to play for the Lakers, is it smart for everyone to go after him right now? And knowing that they may only have him for a year? That was our NFL analyst, Keyshawn Johnson, to talk about, a conversation that, quite frankly, we often have about pros, not just NFL players, but athletes in general. After they leave the pros, there's always this issue, or we hear of these issues, this very familiar story of not being able to manage the millions that they made while they played. Is there a solution for that? Is there a plan that should be in place?
I think first off, let's start off by saying it's just not athletes. I know that seems to be the only problem. And then you surround yourself with other people in certain businesses. And then at the same time, you kind of can watch from afar the good and the bad, or at least you think you can, and you learn from those mistakes. You don't necessarily, I had lavish cars. I still, like I was talking on my radio show, I said I drive a Prius now. I just don't know what kind of car I want to buy. But I'm happy driving for them, for them women. I'm going to stand at the bar, they drinking up all your liquor, and they getting ready to go home with us. Right. That's the way I view that. Not you stop, you know what I'm saying. Don't give me that look, but you know what I'm saying. You're wasting your time.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You're wasting your time unnecessarily to prove something to people.
It's interesting you mentioned Jerome. I had the chance to meet him, great guy, as mentioned. I asked him this. I said, should the leagues, not just NFL, NBA, leagues in general, be held more accountable to maybe helping these players because they don't know? Is it their responsibility?
Having dinner, and he was telling me how he told the Miami Dolphins to put Sam Madison's money away for a long period of time. So he basically pushed it off to a later date. So far as I know, Sam is doing good now. So there's certain things that the people you hire can do to protect you in those situations. But you also got to learn yourself. Everybody that run up on you with a good idea ain't always a good idea.
No, I agree.
It's just not.
And speaking of good ideas or just learning, you recently, and I'll make this a little more personal, trying to prepare your son, Keyshawn Jr., for life before the
Repair or prepare?
Prepare.
Okay.
BC, 9 Eastern. Meanwhile, we are done. OTL is up next. I hope you enjoyed Coast to Coast. I'll see you tomorrow.